Yay, you're in. I'm going to promote you, I think, to a panelist so I can see your video at least, so I don't feel like I'm talking to myself. You don't have to be on video. I just want to be able to see that I can see other people.
Oh yeah, sure. How fun. I still have yet to do my the register for webinar option, but I think I want to start doing that.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out how to turn it off, and so I just had I just kept it on. Whatever, we're here.
That's awesome.
Yay. I know a couple of people are currently in the waiting room and I just let them in and they're coming in. So I will wait a couple minutes to start. If you guys have if you're on a computer and you have a website open, or if you have your server open, pull up www.oolalife.com/step and the number 1. I'll put it in the comments while people are trickling in. www.step 1. All right, so here's my sister texting me being like, how do I get into your webinar? I see Carrie. Okay. Let's see. All right, there we go. Let in the peoples in. Hey, Holly. Thank you, Melissa. I love you. So nice to see your face. I know you're up past your bedtime and I honor and I respect that. And I promise you, I will be timely. Hey, Carrie.
Hello.
Hey, you.
Hi, Gwen.
Hey, Holly. You got in. Yay.
I did.
Ew. All right, cool. There's my sister. Hey, May. I'm just giving everyone like 2 more minutes to pop in before we start, just so we can all be on the same page. And I did pop in a website in the chat section if you guys are on a computer, or you can easily look at a website just to have it open for later on in the webinar. Then you will want to have that, and it's not a big deal if you can't. You can bring it up after. It's not necessary to work through the webinar tonight. So just a bonus. Oh, you don't see it, May? Hold on. There you go. Welcome. All right, so hopefully I got, oh, here we go. Hopefully I'm getting everybody in and we can get started. Yay. All right, cool. Let me go ahead and share my screen for you guys. Here we go. Can you guys see that okay? You should see a big Oola bus on your screen. Yay. Okay, cool. Thanks, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Yay. Thank you guys for being here. I was just saying to Melissa, I know it's late for some of us who choose to go to bed early. So I thank you for being here and committing to the time and showing up and supporting me and also supporting you, because I think this is going to be really, really powerful for you. If you've not heard about Oola before, this is just super exciting for me to be able to share with you. And tell you a little bit about myself, a little bit about Oola, and then we're going to jump into the framework of Oola so that you guys can go ahead and take this framework and create your own Oola life, which is really, really powerful. So thank you for being here. My name is Gwen. I am a mom, I'm a fire wife, I'm a network marketing business owner, and I'm an Oola life coach. How did I get here? I have to go back a little bit and tell you, I got here after I realized that I was on the edge of adrenal fatigue by living a life that I was not in love with. And after that, when I realized that, I began using the Oola framework, what I'm about to teach you guys tonight, to create new habits and daily actions to achieve more of a balanced and fulfilling life, because I was not balanced and I was not fulfilled. I don't know if anyone else can feel those things at any point in their life, but it was a hard time. So today, I get to show you how to create a life of balance, a life that you can be in love with. And I hope you're friggin' ready, because this is exciting. I'm excited to be here with you. I know that you guys know that you and everyone we love is trying to find a life of less stress and more balance and greater purpose. It feels like it's this conversation that's always happening, like, how can I be less stressed? And how do I know I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing in the world? So what you're going to learn today is about a lifestyle that's all of that and more, and it's called Oola Life. And I'm here because I know that we want better connections with family and friends. We want better health. We want more vitality. We want more money at the end of the month. We want financial security for our future, right? And we want to go to a job that we love every single day. We want to have fun in life. And we want a life filled with purpose. Those are the areas of life that we want to fulfill. But the truth is that most of us don't do that. We get swallowed up by this complete unbalanced world that we're living in, and we find ourselves on the complete opposite side of living an Oola life. Stressed, out of balance, and with little or no direction in life. I found Oola, actually, I met the Oola guys because I volunteered to man their table. I was the money bitch. I literally took all the money for the things that they were selling. Like, they had some hats, they had some books, and I was literally putting in these transactions for them for free in exchange for a free ticket to an event. So by me being able to sit outside for, I think I sat with them for 2 hours, helping them with their transactions, I got to attend an event for free. I bought their book at their table. They signed it for me. I read it, and then I did absolutely nothing with it. Good job, Gwen. Like, literally nothing with it. And it wasn't until I was in a point in my life where I had 2 small children, and I started to have these physical things, these physical symptoms show up in my body. And I know myself, and I'm like, you know what? This is not normal. These things are not normal. I don't know why they're here. I'm going to go see a naturopath. And that's what I did. And what the naturopath helped me realize was that I needed to decrease stress in my life. I needed to take care of myself. And she helped me see what I was not prioritizing in my life and how it was affecting my life. And that's when I picked this guy back up. Okay, and that's when I started to use the Oola framework, which is what we're going to learn about today. So today, flash forward, I'm a certified Oola coach, and together we're going to break down the process of Oola and help you find the life that you dream of and that you deserve to have. because we all deserve to have greatness. Am I right? So, unbalanced world. The reality is that most of us have gone through ups and downs, and everywhere we look, it feels like we're living in an unbalanced world, and we kind of are, especially in these times right now. I'm sure you could all agree. You might see it in the paper, you might see it in the news, you might hear it from coworkers, right? Maybe social media, maybe just daily conversations or in the pickup line when you're picking up your children. But I don't think that, it kind of becomes common. Like we're just like, oh yeah, unbalanced world. Okay, I'm stressed. Everyone's stressed. But I don't think we realize how much it actually affects all the areas of our lives and the next generation, whether you have children or not, right? So I want to look at some stats with you that are going to blow your mind, because they blow mine. I don't know if anyone knows what 1 in 3 represents. We're going to talk about it, but 1 in 3 is a huge percentage. Like 1 in 3 people. When you actually think about that, like 1 in 3 people. When we dig into the health and the fitness industry today, or just health and fitness in general, we can start to realize that there are fast food chains around every corner. We're becoming less and less active. We've moved from eating whole foods that we grew in our garden, sitting around the dinner table together, to eating processed foods in the car, and then we're just like, go, 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 go. We've moved from walking and moving throughout towns and villages, right? Like that's just what people did. You walked to your neighbor, you went to the next village, you chatted with your neighbors and your friends. Like you walked everywhere. Just a couple generations ago, to sitting in cars and sitting at desks and sitting on sofas and watching Netflix at the end of the night. It just is where we have landed. 1 in 3 represents the statistic that 1 in 3 Americans are clinically obese. And the real problem is that it's now affecting our kids. Again, whether you have kids or not necessarily your kids, but kids in general, the next generation. The rate of childhood diabetes is actually an epidemic where we are right now. So 1 in 3 is huge. This is staggering. Nearly 7 in 10 Americans have less than $1,000 in their savings. That means you have less than $1,000 saved for an emergency. And I don't know about you, but the last time an emergency happened to me, it cost more than $1,000. Like hot water heater was not $1,000. New tires, not $1,000, right? $1,000 doesn't get us very far these days, but 7 in 10 Americans have less than that in our savings. Emergencies just happen. And then when we don't have the money to fix it, we end up going into debt to pay for it. And speaking of debt, consumer debt is actually at an all-time high, and student loan debt has topped over $1 trillion. Raise your hand if you have the student loan debts, because we've all, education, it gets more expensive as we get older. Student loan debt is real, and it is hard. Sometimes it's like an extra mortgage payment. I know that you guys can feel that. 53% of marriages end in a divorce. You've probably heard this one. You've probably had friends that are part of this statistic. But what this number doesn't actually reflect is the amount of marriages that are hanging on by that little teeny tiny floss of a thread, and the toxic family relationships and all the other fun that goes into dysfunction. A similar statistic, 55 to 70% of people hate their jobs. 55 to 70% of people hate their jobs. So if we look at this slide and we look at the last slide, if 53% of marriages end in divorce and 55 to 70% of us hate our jobs, that means that prior to working from home for most of the world, half of us, over half of us, sit in traffic to get to a job that we hate. And then we sit in traffic again to come home to a spouse or a marriage that we kind of can't stand. And we do it over and over and over, and we call that life. That is not Oola life. That's not what we're working towards. Faith is another one. Faith has been removed from everything. It's kind of become this like not politically correct term. But what I believe is that your faith is your faith, right? And we should all respect and love each other's view of a higher purpose. No matter what it is, it's our own faith. Why can't we live in a world where all the faiths love and respect the other's opinions? Faith to me is just complete, what's the other word that you can use? It's just feeling so concrete in something or someone. Why can't that be a simple definition of faith? And why can't we all just accept each other's faith? It's because we're living in an unbalanced world. 8 in 10 people, this statistic blows my mind, 8 in 10 people endure toxic relationships. I know that you have probably heard from your mom or your grandmother or somebody close to you that's older than you that will say, you are who you hang out with, or like, you're like the closest 5 people that you hang out with, right? Well, even though we've heard it a million times over and over, 8 out of 10 of us still endure a toxic relationship or a toxic friendship. And here tonight, I'm going to teach you about the powerful Oola principle of unfollow, unfriend, and delete. Powerful. Simple, not easy, but powerful. And you guys know this one already. At Oola, we actually believe that at the end of your days, you should look back at your life with fond memories that include things like epic adventures and dinner table giggles and meaningful moments and a legacy of purpose and meaning, right? That's the goal. We want to be, however old we are, looking back at our life and going, yeah, that freaking rocked. That was awesome, right? But most of us won't. We'll be taking our last breath and wishing that we would have worked less, or wishing that we said, I love you more, or taken that trip, or done the thing, climbed the mountain, right? You don't have to let this be you. You get to choose to live a life of amazingness, and that's the life of Oola. That's why I'm so excited to be able to show you how this framework works. And again, it's simple. It's not easy, but it is simple. So we've said the word Oola like a million times. Let's actually define it and talk about what it is. And the funny thing about this word Oola is that it's a made-up word. Literally, you cannot, it's not a word that we learned in the dictionary or in school growing up. It is made up. It's like, ooh la la. It's a lifestyle that's based on an international best-selling book, this one, that I picked up 6 years ago, sitting at the Oola table with the guys. And it is defined as the state of awesomeness when your life is balanced and growing in the 7 key areas of life. These are the 7 F's that you will soon become so fond with: fitness, finance, family, field, faith, friends, and fun. These are the 7 key areas of life and the 7 F's of Oola that we're going to explore a little bit deeper as we continue talking tonight. So these are the guys. These are the Oola guys. This is Dr. Dave and Dr. Troy, and that is the Oola bus. And I know some of you have stickers on that bus, right? You've got some of these dream stickers and you've slapped them on the bus, and some of them have come true and some of them we're still working towards. I think that bus has somewhere like 7 layers of dreams stickered all over the bus, and there's surfboards on the top, there's stickers up there. This is what they do. They travel the world collecting dreams. And you're going to learn about that little Oola bus and these dreams a little bit further along in the webinar. But I want to share a little story about how it all began. And I'm hoping you guys can hear this. So once I press play, just give me a nod if you can hear this okay.
In 1997, the Oola Guru shared the importance of a balanced life to the Oola seeker. They began to meet yearly in Las Vegas to set goals helping them achieve success in the 7 key areas of an Oola life. But over time, they lost touch. the Oola seeker drifted from the simple Oola principles and found himself at the bottom, bankrupt, divorced, and defeated. Discouraged and living in a motel, he called his old friend, the Oola guru, who lived a balanced life and was achieving continual success. They reunited and made a plan to uncover the lost principles that helped them find balance in business and life. Seeing firsthand these simple principles work yet again, they became passionate about sharing. They wrote an international bestseller detailing the 7 areas of life needed to find balance and be happy. The Oola guys are crisscrossing the country in a 1970 VW surf bus, sharing Oola, inspiring hope, collecting dreams, and helping people achieve them. They are committed to changing the world with a word, helping people remove what is blocking them, to reveal their greatness and extraordinary purpose within.
Without using the principles of Oola in my life, I know I would not be where I am today.
It's real.
Fitness helped me regain my whole life.
Just seeing your goals right in front of you, it's motivating and it's inspiring.
It's your turn to experience the Oola life.
So one of the greatest things that the Oola guys teach from stage is the lesson called You Be You. And it means basically exactly what it says. I don't know about you, but you probably can remember some of the amazing dreams that you had or crazy dreams that you had growing up. I had 2 very distinct dreams. One of them was that I would be best friends with Shannon Miller. I don't know if you guys remember her. She's the Olympic gymnast. We had like the same bangs and the same curly hair. And I really dreamt and saw myself like as an Olympic gymnast and standing up and getting a medal and being best friends with Shannon Miller. She's probably like 20 years older than me. And then the other dream that I had was that I would be a surgeon. And that probably just came from watching too much ER. Like, did anybody else watch that show? I would stay up late, watch ER with George Clooney and be like, I am going to be a surgeon. I really did think I was going to be a surgeon. But the thing about these dreams, right, we have them, and you probably are thinking about like 1 or 2 right now that you had as a kid. Maybe a teacher, a preacher, a mother, a father, a son, a sister, a brother. One of those people in your life probably told you something about your dream, that it was stupid, or that you weren't good enough, or that you weren't smart enough, good looking enough. And we believed them. And it might not have been words. It could have been actions, right? It could have been how they treated you when you talked about them. It could have been the things that they allowed you to do. It could have been how they talked about dreams. It doesn't really matter, but in some way, shape, or form, someone told you that you couldn't do what you dreamt. And then by hearing that and that being enforced over and over again, we start to believe them. And then you started to become an adult and you started to plan your life and live based on these limiting beliefs that you had. You built this life like inside a box, surrounded by walls that you actually put up in your own mind. Today, we're going to start tearing down those walls, like boom, 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 like taking them down, breaking them through what's holding us back, starting to rebuild a life that we're designed to live. Some of you know that you need a major overhaul. Some of you might just need little tweaks to have a better life. Some of you might think that you need just little tweaks, but you actually need a major overhaul. And all of those things are okay. So let's get started on the actual steps that you're going to take to create this life that you're designed to live. If you don't have a pen and paper, I might grab one. Or if you have some way, shape, or form to take notes, I might grab something. I want to talk about first the 3 simple steps of Oola life, because getting to your Oola life is simple. Remember, it's simple, but it's not always easy. You've probably heard that said about a million other things. The steps are easy. The steps are simple. The process is not always easy. Some days are going to be hard, but I promise you that it is always 100% worth it. Dr. Dave and Dr. Troy developed 3 simple steps for your Oola life. So let's start with step number 1. And I love, they use analogies that just make it so easy for me to understand. So I'm going to share them with you because I feel like when you can visualize it, you can actually like embody these steps. So have you ever been in a new city and you had to drive somewhere and you had no clue how to get there? And maybe you've just like gone for it. You're like, I'll just figure it out. Before these things, we used to have to like take on a map and unfold it a million times and figure out which way was up and like where was north and south. And then you had to figure out exactly where you are and how to get to your destination. And then once you got there, you had to like fold that map back up in the same exact way, which is nearly impossible, and put it away, right? Thankfully, we have these now, although it's a great skill to still know how to read a map, but we have these. And it's a little bit different. So you simply grab your phone and you type in your destination. This is where you want to go. But before that, your phone actually does something that you might have missed or not paid attention to all these years. Your smartphone actually locates where you are right now. It puts a pin on the map and it's like, hey, Gwen, you are here, right? And that's the first step that you need to do in order to change the aspect of your life. To create a life of less stress, more balance, greater purpose, you just simply need to know where you are today in the 7 key areas of life. That's step number 1. That's super easy. This is what we call the Oola wheel. So in the chat, I can't get to it because I'm screen sharing, but in the chat, I dropped a website. If you didn't see it, it is www.oolalife.com/step1. Don't spell out 1, it's the number 1. And it's gonna bring you to a place where you can fill out the Oola wheel. Don't do it now because it will distract you for a while, but definitely save that for after this call or another time when you wanna sit down with it. It's going to help you look at the 7 key areas of your life. So as you can see on my screen, we've got the 7 bubbles here, which are the 7 key areas of life, also the 7 Fs. And I want you to imagine your life like a bicycle wheel. So we've got these 7 spokes, right, that are independent. They're the key components to our wheel, our life. And even though they're independent, they're also interdependent on each other, right? And when your spokes are all there, your wheel's rolling. You like fly right down that road. But if you are missing a spoke, you are now a clunker. And you are no longer rolling, but you are boom, 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 like you're clunking down the street. And no one wants to clunk through life, I don't think. Everyone wants to roll. We want it to be easy. We don't want to have extra things that are pulling us down. So when you look at your Oola wheel, all you're doing is you are rating where you are in these 7 key areas of life. So if I were to look at my fitness, in fact, I'll show you guys, this is my wheel. So this is actually a recent one. Okay, it was January 2021. This is my wheel. And you're looking at your life in the 7 key areas. So if I look at fitness and I'm like, you know what, like I feel pretty good about my fitness. I eat pretty well. I probably would rate myself from 0 to 10, like an 8. Okay, 10 would be like fabulous and 0 would be like, I'm really sucking at fitness. Like I don't even know what fitness is. Please define that for me. Okay, so you would rate your fitness on a scale of 0 to 10. And when you rate it, you've got these dots along your wheel, 0 being down here and 10 being up here. So you're putting a marker on the map for fitness. And what you do is you go through each of the 7 key areas of life and you place a dot on the wheel. And as you can see, I have a clunker. Okay, so not all the areas of my life are balanced, and that is normal. But what this is going to allow us to do is it's going to allow us to work on the areas that are unbalanced and bring them back into balance so that our wheel actually rolls. My wheel is clunking and it's okay. But by connecting the dots, once you've landed on each one, you can see how you roll, right? Once you have your wheel, and again, it's going to take you some time to do that. So you can go to the website and fill it out, or you can screenshot this post and just kind of fill it out on a piece of paper, whatever you decide to do. you want to fill out your wheel. The one online is fabulous because it takes you through questions that helps you pick a number. So once you have your wheel, that's step one. Step two is figuring out where you want to go, because you already know where you are. This is where I am. This is what my life looks like right now. This is where I'm balanced and unbalanced and needing support. Now we need to know where you want to go. Step one, the Oola wheel, is telling you where you have stress or where you have lack of purpose. And what we're working on is less stress and more purpose. So this is perfect. Step two is deciding exactly where you want to go in the 7 key areas of life. And in this step, we're going to take a little bit of time by breaking down the 7 F's, going through each of them, and thinking of a dream or a goal that relates to each one. Don't commit it to memory, write it down. You will not remember a goal for each of the 7 F's, so write them down. Put it in your smartphone or put it on a piece of paper because you're going to want to work on these. So we're going to go through the 7 F's very quickly. So you guys kind of have an idea of, okay, what am I rating and how am I going to rate this area? And the first one is Oola Fitness. Oola Fitness is everything health and wellness in your life. So this is basically how you use your body and what you fuel your body with, what you put in your body. So you would look at this goal, you would look at Oola Fitness, and you would set a dream or a goal for fitness. Some of them, like mine, I had exercise daily for 30 minutes, first thing in the morning. And you do want them to be a little bit specific. We do talk about SMART goals a lot. You know, they are, what's the first S of SMART? Oh my gosh, I can't remember. SMART goals.
Specific.
Specific, thank you. They're specific, they're measurable, they're attainable, they are relative, and they are time-based. So if you can make a SMART goal for Oola Fitness and for all the 7 F's, you are golden. So just think about, quickly jot down a couple thoughts for you to create a goal for Oola Fitness. Then you have Oola Finance. This is the one that gives me the heebies. This is the one where I'm like, I don't want to open my bank account. That's at least where I used to be, and I'm working on Oola Finance. Oola Finance is all things personal finance. Some of the goals or dreams you might have for Oola Finance can look like my job meets my financial needs, or to be totally debt-free by a certain time period, to have a cash budget for Christmas, to pay off my mortgage by a certain date, to have 7 months of income in my savings. It can look anything that relates to all things personal finance for you. So go ahead and jot a couple of thoughts down about your dream or goal for Oola Finance. And then we have Oola Family. So this one's for single, committed, married, divorced, have kids, don't have kids, have stepkids, have extended family. Every one of you belong here, okay? Oola Family is one of those weird goals for me, at least it was before I understood it. Like, what do you mean I need to create a dream or a goal for Oola Family? But when you look at your wheel and you're like, okay, well, I rated myself here, so I obviously need something to push myself to more balance in that area and growth in that area. So you start to think about, okay, how can I make some goals or dreams for my family? And maybe that's as simple as eat 4 meals together a week or a month, right? That's a family goal. Or you create specific boundaries for a specific family member in your life. Like, you know, if you go to a holiday party, you're creating boundaries. You're going to go for an hour. You're going to show up. You're going to bring a meal, and you're going to commit to good conversation, and then you're going to go home, right? You create a good boundary for a family member. Think about something that hits home for you for family. Maybe it's just spending time. Write down a couple of thoughts. If you can think of a dream or a goal, then definitely write that down for yourself for Oola Family. And then we have Oola Field. And this is my favorite. And it's only my favorite because I rate myself the highest in Oola Field. This is like, I love my job. I love my work. I love the things that I do. But that might not be the same for you. You might hate your job and want something completely different. So Oola Field is your career and your profession, and it's what you dedicate your life to. Things, goals, dreams that you might find in your Oola Field would be, I create a full-time income from my side hustle. Or I make my side hustle my main job. Or I get to bring my husband home from his two other jobs that he's working just by me doing what I love. Your field goal can look like anything. Maybe it's just that you work to find a job or find your passion so that you can work at doing something you love and you feel good dedicating your life to. So write down a couple of thoughts or a dream or a goal that you can think of for Oola Field. Next is Oola Faith. Here's the thing about faith. Oola Faith is based on gratitude, humility, and an understanding of our greater purpose in the world. Faith does not have to equal God. Faith is complete trust in someone or something. So you get to decide what faith means to you. And maybe your dream or your goal for faith is that you plug into a community and you connect with them once a week, right? Maybe your goal is that you give more of yourself, whether that is in money, in time, or in your talent. Maybe your faith goal is that you continue to grow and connect with yourself and you personally develop. Your faith goal can be anything. Meditate daily, write in a gratitude journal, all those things. So take a second to write down a faith goal or dream for yourself. And then we have Oola Friends. This is where I said we would talk about unfollow and delete, right? Oola Friends might be a hard goal for you, but Oola Friends is what includes everything social. So you can look at Oola Friends in two categories. You can look at it in your friends and you can look at it in your acquaintances. Because our friends are usually like that inner circle, the circle that's much closer and smaller to us. And then our acquaintances are usually that second circle, but they're still our friends, but it's just a different kind of friend. So I want you to think about your Oola friend goal and where you scored on your Oola wheel, right? And you might have a dream or a goal that sounds something like, be the best friend that I expect in return. That's one of mine. Be in touch with friends once a week. Send out birthday cards to my friends, like physical birthday cards. Plan a monthly friend get together or a yearly friend get together. You decide what your Oola friend goal or dream is. And then we have Oola Fun, which is the last F, you guys. Oola Fun. Isn't it crazy that some people have to schedule fun? But this is one of the 7 key areas of life, and you need to have fun in your life or you're going to find yourself on your last breath going, I wish I had more fun. And if you need to schedule it, you need to schedule it. But maybe your dream or your goal is that you work towards not having to schedule fun because it just happens more often. Fun is where you explore passion in life. Maybe it's just to smile and laugh every day, or bring fun to the dinner table, or to plan one family trip a year and involve your children. You get to decide what your Oola fun goal and dream is. So jot that down. Okay, now that you have an idea of your dreams and your goals in the 7 key areas of life, I want you to pick one. And I know that might be hard. One dream that you maybe wrote down or you just thought of that will truly change your life and start the transition to a better life. You can even look at your wheel and say, you know what, I'm going to pick the dream on the spoke that I scored the least amount on. And for me, that's finance. Sometimes the particular dream is not always the easy one. And it ends up being the most important one. Because what you'll find is that your one goal is actually, remember how it's independent, but it's also interdependent on the other 7 key areas of life. So when you work towards balancing and growing that one key area of life, you're going to affect all the other areas of your life too, right? There's a good possibility that you haven't even written this dream or goal down yet because you're afraid to write it down. The Oola guys always say, if it scares you and it makes you a little nervous, it's most likely the one. So look for that one goal, circle it, write it down. It's blaring right in front of you. This is the one goal. So that's step 2. Step 3. If we go back to the reference of being in a new city, you need to find a location. Step 3 kind of fits in perfectly with exactly what the GPS or the Maps app on your smartphone would do. So remember, first it locates you. It's like, you are here, this is your spot. And then it tells you where you want to go, right? Step 3 is the path. This is the Oola path. And it's a list of all the steps that you need to take in order to reach your goals. So imagine all those little dots on the map for you to get to your destination. Now, it would be amazing if I could just take my phone out and plug my life into a map and it says, oh, here's the next action steps you need to take in order to get you to your destination. You are here, you're going to end here, it's going to take you this long, and here's exactly what you need to do. Boom, right? But that doesn't exist. At least not yet. But you're going to create that. It is not easy, but it's simple, I promise. So you know where you are, you know where you want to go. And now you need to decide every day how you're going to get there. How are you going to take action every single day to get you towards your one goal? You're going to look at those little tiny action steps as like mini goals that you must accomplish every day because they're going to lead you to your main goal and eventually to fulfilling all your dreams, right? And ultimately to creating your Oola life, which is the huge goal. So here's how the Oola guys and myself make sure we take these vital actions every single day. I'm going to show you my note card. Where is it? This is just a silly little 3x5 note card. Literally, you can get it at the dollar store, you can get it at Amazon, you can probably dig into your schoolwork somewhere, like in high school or college, and pull out 350 of these. I literally lived by these in college. 3x5 note card. You can get colored ones, you can get white ones. I do not care. These are your action steps. So I want to give you a little visual. Imagine a jar and you've got 3 oranges and you've got a whole bunch of Skittles. Your 3 oranges represent your daily action steps that you need to take every single day in order to get you to your 1 goal. And the Skittles represent the things in your life that need to be done, like for you to eat, sleep, and breathe, and for you to keep your children alive, right? There are things like laundry and cooking and feeding your children and picking them up at daycare or picking them up at school or driving them to the sports. Like those are things that do have to be done in the day, but those are not things that are going to get you towards your goal. Now, if you take your jar and you fill your jar with all the Skittles that you have, right? Which is a ton of them. And then you try to fit your oranges on top. Are you going to be able to fit all your 3 oranges in this top space? No. But you take all that out and you take your jar and you take your 3 oranges and you put them in the jar first. And then you take your Skittles and you pour them in on top of the oranges. Can you fit both of those things in your jar together? Yes. So by you taking those daily 3 action steps and making them your priority, but also still doing the things, the Skittles, you can achieve your 1 goal. So this is probably backwards for you guys. I don't even know. And it's horribly written. You don't need to be able to see what it says. But the point is this. I write the date. This is the night before I go to bed. I write the date. And then on the left-hand side, I write oranges, or O, because I'm lazy. And on the right-hand side is Skittles. You put a line down the middle and a line across the top. And you're going to list your daily action steps that you absolutely, without a doubt, need to take in order to get you closer to your 1 goal. So if your 1 goal is to lose 20 pounds, right? Your oranges might look something like exercise for 30 minutes a day, cook 3 healthy meals a day, log into your app and track your food. Like those are 3 things that are going to get you achieving your 1 goal. On your Skittles side, you look at your calendar and you're like, okay, tomorrow's Thursday. I know I need to drop the kids off here, cook and do laundry, right? And maybe there's a million more things that you list on there, and it's probably are, but you're gonna list your Skittles on the other side. These must get done. Your oranges must get done, but this is how you keep track of your day. And this goes with you wherever you go. It's in your pocket, it's in your purse, it's wherever you are. So if you find yourself somewhere in the day and you're like, I don't know what to do with myself. Oh, have I done my 3 oranges? Because once I know I've done those, then I'm solid, okay? Easy, note cards, do it. It will change your life and it will get you achieving that 1 goal. Now, as we're coming to a close, I want you to make your commitment. Not to me, but to yourself. Because you, whether you realize it or not, are designed for greatness and a purpose, and you are worth it. You are the answer. Your commitment to yourself is literally the best thing that you can ever do for you and also the generation that follows you. Make your commitment to that one thing that will move your life in the direction of less stress, more balance, and greater purpose, also known as the Oola life, right? I want you guys to be grateful, have faith, and go get your Oola life because it is available for you. This is where you can find me. I've got my website. I love social media. I love Instagram. And if you have a question about today's training, or you go back and you want to write something down and you forgot what we talked about, just email me or message me anywhere on there. Okay? And let me stop sharing so I can see your faces. Cool, cool, cool. And let me just bring you guys over who are not on video. And then that way you guys can let me know if you have any questions about anything that we talked about. Just feel free to unmute yourself and ask away. Or any takeaways that you got from tonight.
I have a question, and thank you so much. That was awesome. Based on, did they share any like percentages for how long it takes to make progress on one of your, on your one goal that you're writing your index cards for? Like, is there an average or?
I mean, I think it depends, right? Because everyone's one goal is going to be so each other that it's just so hard to say. I think I mean, I don't have a percentage for you, but I think immediately with the note card, like you've already made progress. You've already recognized these are your steps. Progress number one. You know what I mean? And then what you do with that is hopefully you continue and you keep going. And then how long it takes for you to get to your one goal, like someone's goal of being, being completely debt free by December 31st, 2021 might be different than losing 20 pounds. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you.
Anybody else have questions or takeaways? Oh, Carrie, thank you for saying that in the comments. If you don't have this Oola book, on my website, I have a direct link to it so you can grab your own. It actually doesn't look like this anymore. This was like the OG version, but I love that I have the OG and they signed it. And all they signed was hashtag live Oola, which I think is kind of cool. But and together, we're on a mission to help billions of people, because this is a simple structure. Again, not easy, but simple, and anyone can follow it. Anyone can. So if you want the book, just head to my website. I'll put the website in the chat again, and it should be, in fact, I might even just grab it for you guys so that you guys can see where it is while anybody else pops in with any questions. Unmute yourself and just go ahead and ask. Who wants to share one goal that they created?
I have something to share, and I'm happy to share my goal too. I really appreciated what you shared, because when I first learned about Oola all those years ago, I immediately got really overwhelmed that I was going to have to work on all 7 areas of my life at one time. And I love the simplicity and beauty of like celebrating where you are doing well and just putting energy and effort towards what needs energy and effort. That just feels so much better. And I'm sad that I believed that I had to be perfect in all 7 areas in order to be winning at life, which is not the truth. Unless you have something to share about that, like I'm all ears. And then mine is on finances too. Mine is more around mindset around finances. My husband he loves finances, and I've just let him love them, and he just takes care of everything. And I'm very blessed by that, but also want to consciously be a conscious contributor and participator in our financial story. And I usually like glaze over when he starts talking numbers. And so it's going to be a tricky one for me, because it's always been, I've had resistance around this. So, yeah, I'm going to need to revisit the book, and like, if you could help me, if you could just speak into what it looks like to do more work with you in that area. I'm just so much a fish out of water. I don't even know what to write on a 3x5 card.
So yeah, okay, those are all great questions. So lucky for you, you've explored some of the Green Gap program. So the Green Gap program is a program specifically for finances. So if your one goal is a finance goal, I teach something specific along with Oola, but it's called Green Gap, and it's all about getting in charge of your finances. And it does not mean that you have to love numbers and like love looking at your bank account. But I think what happens over time is as you feel more in control because you have a better understanding of what's coming in and then what's going out. And then the green gap is what we call the area of extra money in between those two things. And it's not, I mean, the goal is to have a green gap. We don't always start with a green gap. Some of us have a red X. Like the money coming in is not covering the money that's going out. You can get out of that. And it's just having the knowledge of what's coming in and what's going out and where we can make changes, right? So the goal is creating the green gap. But in doing that and going through that program, you get to understand like exactly where your money's going. And when you start to track that and you start to see that, you start to want to be a part of that process even more. You're like, oh, well, I spent $500, that's an exaggeration, on coffees last month. What if I invested that $500 and I made $1,000 with it instead? What if I took it and I doubled my money instead of spending it on something that didn't even last me very long? Like, I feel like it just gives you more, you just recognize more and you're in more control. And it doesn't mean that you have to love numbers, but it does mean that you will want to have more hands-on with that stuff.
Yes, thank you. I'm excited. My plan is to go through the Green Gap program and then do my taxes so I can like tackle, or do you think it would be better for me to do it after taxes and heal my relationship with
some? And so I just usually like, I do the hard things first. Taxes are hard. Green Gap program is fun. So I would almost want to get the taxes out of the way because you won't need to know Green Gap in order to do your taxes. But you'll just have a better understanding of what your taxes could look like and what your situation could look like next year.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Let me just pop through too. If anyone has another question, just definitely pop on.
Hi, Gwen.
Hi, Holly.
I also picked finance, but crossed it with the field because I need to have both of them come together for me. And I had done the 7 days of Oola with you before. And I do have my Skittles and oranges on a couple of sheets of paper. So I did start it and kind of fell off, but I've still got them sitting here and I'm going to continue with that. But this has been really good. Thank you so much.
Good. I'm so glad. I really I enjoy at the end of the night sitting down with my note card. And I mean, for me, what needs to happen is it needs to be simple. So I keep my note cards literally on my bedside table. It's not pretty, but my bedside table is never pretty. So it's there and I and then I get dressed and it goes in my pocket.
Mm-hmm. Now sorry.
Go ahead.
Do you write it the night before or do you write it in the morning?
You write it the night before.
Okay.
Because you want to look at your day ahead because you're going to need to look at your calendar, like to know what your schedule is day. It will help you to do it the night before.
Oh, well, that's a good thing because there was another program or a book that I had read and they said to make, I guess it's Brandon Bouchard.
Oh,
Bouchard?
Yeah.
He said it's important to know what you're going to do before you do it. So in the morning you get up, that's the first thing you do is think about what you have to do. So I'm really serious. I've got to get myself on the right track and I'm working on that.
That's a start. Good, Holly.
Thank you so much.
Anybody else have questions or takeaways?
I do, Gwen.
Go, friend.
So mine is play. Like my lowest is play or like fun. And it's when I filled it out, I was like, wow, okay. And I knew that, I think, subconsciously, because my goal for 2021 or the word for 2021 was play.
Uh-huh.
So I find it challenging though to make a goal, like to think of a goal to have around play, because when I think of play, it feels like it's like a big thing.
Mm.
And so I think I just need to break it down into something smaller every day. But I'm having a hard time thinking of that. But
Know you and I know your life and I watch you, right? And so to me, like you go outside every day, right?
yeah, I do. I guess maybe I need to acknowledge play, like where I am playing, maybe. Maybe that's it.
Like and sometimes like it's combined with something else. So like you run, right? You're a runner and you go outside and you run and you enjoy it. So that's, I mean, that could be your fitness and your fun.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So it doesn't have to be like a separate goal where, you know, not that I'm going salsa dancing anywhere right now, but you know what I'm saying?
You could. But
Yeah.
it could, you know, if you want to have more fun, right? If that's your goal, because it's obvious, like you look at your chart and you're like, okay, fun is low on the totem pole here, so I need to definitely boost that up. I mean, I might just start with making a list of like, what do I like having fun doing? Like, what is fun to me?
Yeah. And I just did that actually the other day. So there's some ideas in there, but I guess, think, oh my gosh, I need to plan it. And I do need to plan it, but maybe it's one big thing a week and it's smaller things along the way.
Yeah, like one of the Oola guys, his fun was planning a trip to France with his kids. And that was like a goal that was going to take, they didn't know how long, years, because they had to put the money aside. But they all, like the fun part of it was they all worked together and every week they took a certain amount of their money and they put it in this bank account and they all were a part of the process of planning. So one kid got to pick like where they were going to go on the first day and another on a second day. And it was fun for them to pull that together and know that they were creating another fun journey, you know, to get to their goal. So
I think I need to define fun.
yeah, start there.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody else?
So I haven't done the wheel yet,
Okay.
but what if you have like two of the Fs that are low? Which one would you focus on first? Like if they were the same numbers per se?
I wouldn't necessarily look at the numbers. Like you might score them the same, but maybe just kind of ask yourself to reflect on which one feels more important to you right now.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
you can work on them both.
Mhm.
Right? Like they'll both interact with each other anyway, but you're just picking one for right now. And then when you achieve that one, you're going to go to your next one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Anybody else? Fun. Okay, cool. I'm just looking at the comments. Kitchen dance parties can be fun, May says. Cool. If you guys didn't get a chance to see the website one more time for the wheel, let me just put that in here. It's oolalife.com/step1. Sorry, I can't do two things at once. oolalife.com/step1. Okay. And that's where you can do the online wheel if you want to do that. And you know what? Like, I bet you can think of somebody else in your life who maybe is struggling and maybe is just having a hard time and needs a little help figuring things out. Send them to the wheel. Send them to the wheel, and then they can always ask me questions. Because I just feel like it makes it visual for you and it allows you to see like, okay, well, this is what's holding me back and this is where I need to work, right? Because sometimes we just get so overwhelmed on the whole world, feeling like Rosie said, like we have to spin all those plates at the same time. But we don't, not equally, not at the same time. So this was huge for my understanding too. All right, you guys, you are awesome. I kept it to an hour. I'm actually pretty proud of myself for not over talking that hour. And I just want to thank you and appreciate you spending your time with me and being here tonight, late night. And if you can think of anybody who needs this, I am happy to chat with anybody else. I'm happy to bring it to a team or talk with anybody else about doing this because I feel like it's going to change the world. and the ground is going to start shaking, and we're just going to start to climb out of this hole that it feels like the world is in. So you guys have been rock stars. I love you. I'll see you guys later.